Did you get a letter 1058 in the mail? This is your final warning before the IRS starts taking your stuff. We're talking levies, wage garnishments, and the possible seizure of your assets. Let me explain exactly what it means and how to respond. I'm Brad Paladini. I'm a tax attorney. I help individuals and business owners resolve their tax debt so they don't lose everything or end up in jail. Here's what you need to know about the letter 1058. This is your final notice of intent to levy. It means you owe the IRS money, and if you don't pay, the IRS will garnish your wages, levy your bank account, or seize your assets. It also means that an IRS revenue officer is assigned to your case. I have another video on IRS revenue officers, but the long and short is that a revenue officer is a debt collector specifically assigned to your case. So if you planned on hiding out, you can't hide any longer. The IRS has a lot of ability to take your assets. What can the IRS actually take? They can garnish your wages. They can levy the money in your bank account. They could take your 401k. They could levy any stocks, bonds, or anything of the sort. If you are a business owner, they could also send a letter to anyone who has ever paid you in the past and instruct them by law to send any payments directly to the IRS instead of to you. How much time do you have once you get this notice? You have 30 days. The notice will actually say the deadline in the letter. Now, there is some good news in that you still have rights once you get this letter. You have 30 days to file an appeal. It is a request for a collection due process hearing. And if you utilize those rights during the time that the appeal is pending, the IRS cannot legally garnish your wages or levy your bank account. They could still file a tax lien, but you are, for the most part, pretty protected against the IRS taking your stuff. So what are the options available to you once you receive that notice? Well, obviously you could pay it in full, but if you let it get to this point, you probably don't have the ability to do so. Option 2 is to try and set up a payment plan. Again, if you're getting a letter 1058, it means a revenue officer is assigned to your case. They are required to get a whole lot of financial information from you. You'll need to complete a Form 433A, which I do have a video about, or a Form 433B if you have a business, or potentially both. You can also try to prove a hardship. You still have to go through all of your financials. But if you're able to prove a hardship, the IRS won't require you to pay anything at this time. You could try and negotiate a settlement by filing an offer in compromise, and you could appeal. So if you decide to appeal, the case is basically removed from the revenue officer's inventory and sent to appeals. Now, the appeals officer is going to want all of the same information that the revenue officer wanted. And once you provide that information to the appeals officer, they're going to send it off to the revenue officer for a recommendation, but it gives you 2 bites to the apple. So you can try to negotiate with the appeals officer to work out some sort of arrangement. And if that doesn't work out, the case will get sent back to the revenue officer and you could try it again. But typically, your best opportunity to resolve it is going to be with the appeals officer. So what is the worst thing you could do? Ignore it. People come to us all the time after they already received the notice, after the 30 days have expired, and the IRS is already taking their assets. And that makes things more difficult to resolve. So here's a quick recap on what we discussed. The letter 1058 is the final notice of intent to levy. It means your case has been assigned to a revenue officer, which is much more serious. You've got about 30 days to act. You can file an appeal, and you do have different options if you can't pay the debt in full. If you're getting a letter 1058, this is one of those situations where I really don't recommend you trying to do it yourself. You really don't want to go up against an IRS revenue officer without any sort of representation. There are other scenarios where it's more than fine to represent yourself against the IRS, in my opinion, but this would not be one of them. If you received a letter 1058, You can use the link below to schedule a free discovery call with our firm so you can learn about your options and whether we are a good fit for you. If you like this video, please take a moment to like and to subscribe. I have a whole bunch of videos on various IRS notices coming out, and you don't want to miss them.